Right, so this time last week there was fuck all released on home entertainment, and we practically listened to Jarrett run his mouth off for 15 minutes. I wonder what this week will bring. How you going, mate?
Good. Well, good news is that this week is absolutely littered with releases and there's some good stuff. But I do want to hark back to last week briefly.
All right.
And that is to say, I saw on Twitter that writer-director of Evil Dead Rise, Lee Cronin, had posted a picture of him recording an audio commentary for Evil Dead Rise.
I saw that too.
Good news, but here's the kicker. I don't think it's going to be for that Warner release in the States, which unfortunately will be the one we get locally, a direct port of it. I have an inclination it's going to be for the UK release because Studio Canal are handing it over there. And given that it's Lee Cronin, you know, he's Irish, I'd assume that it's probably going to be for the European release. So that said, I can't wait to see what they're going to announce in terms of special feature content for that release. Surely it's got that commentary.
No, but how's
otherwise...
that? Like we rant about not having a commentary for that film, and then the next day there he is on fucking Facebook.
I know.
Recording.
I don't know if we put it out there and he heard the call.
You manifested it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we've just got to manifest other things. Like I want Stitches and Hamburger the Motion Picture on Blu-ray.
I want hot dogs.
Put it out there. I'm expecting it to be announced within the next week. But this week, locally on home entertainment, nothing quite as exciting as those 80s classic comedies. But we do have Disney releasing Ant-Man and the Quantumania. Is it Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Ant-Man and the Wasp in the Quantumania.
It's like a long enough title without having to add anything else to it.
It's
and there's
Ant-Man
no part 3 in there to begin with. So imagine you just drop into this and you're kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Because I don't know who he is, who she is, and what the hell is Quantumania?
Yeah,
but that one's coming out. So look, I will watch it, but I'll probably catch up with it on Disney Plus. I do have the other two on the shelf on 4K, but I can't.
You're a completist.
I don't know if I'll add this one, to be honest. I'll probably be more inclined to sell these two off. Yeah. I've slowly been getting rid of a lot of the Marvel content just because I realized I'm never going to rewatch it. What am I keeping it for? I'll keep the classics like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, but I don't know if I need to own anything else.
No.
I've actually watched those films like at least twice, so I've got my money's worth out of them. But yeah, that one's coming out. It's coming out on 4K, Blu-ray, and DVD. The 4K has Atmos, but so will the Disney Plus stream, so that I'll be quite content with that. And then there's a bunch of special features that no one's really going to watch, let's face it, so why even tell you about
It's all going to be, here's how green screen works.
Yeah, precisely, exactly. And this is how we went back to the well to make another one of these movies. Then we've got Mad Men. Now, I did mention last week, so I won't retread too much ground. They're releasing Pearl on Blu-ray and DVD, which is great news. Then Universal Sony have two big releases this week. They got Knock at the Cabin, which I think we were all a bit meh on. I watched your guys' video, and I think I watched it as soon as I got home from the cinema. And I was a bit like, well, it would have made for a great Netflix movie that you didn't have to leave the house to watch. But because I made the effort to pay good money, go to the cinema and see it, I came out a little underwhelmed.
It's an episode of something.
Yeah, like the Twilight Zone. Exactly. Yeah. They needed to shave it of about 45 minutes. Totally. Yes. Could have been a great episode of Black Mirror, but probably in the hands of a better director, I'd say. Not that he's a terrible director. It's just I don't know. I think it could have been handled better, but yeah, it just lacked suspense and tension and just about anything that makes a thriller or a apocalyptic horror movie good. But
it felt like one of those movies that a director just bumps out between projects, like
absolutely, yeah. I had a little bit of time, so I managed to do this one. It felt like a COVID movie because you had so few characters in it. But yeah, so that one's coming out, and that one actually does have special features. There's deleted scenes and featurettes on that one. M. Night doesn't do a commentary, but one of the featurettes is quite extensive. It runs at about 25 minutes. So I guess that's all you need to know.
But here's the twist. He does.
Yes, of course. And you're like, oh, hang on, I was just trying to access the Atmos and this bloke's talking all over the movie. Bugger. Then there's another Universal title, another tentpole title, a film that did pretty well at the box office, but obviously not well enough that Universal saw fit to do a 4K release of it, not even overseas. And that is the Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
Which was good. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm looking forward I'm looking forward to revisiting it. And that one's actually stacked with content. There's a commentary on there as well with Elizabeth Banks. What else is on there? There's deleted scenes. There's an alternate ending, which I'm quite curious about. There's 3 featurettes and a gag reel as well, which the gag reel sounds terrific because hopefully it's got a man in a bear costume that they augmented with CGI later, and you get to see some hilarious bloopers of that nature. Then moving on to another indie that's releasing a title this week. It's coming out through Madman, but it's from the Acorn catalog, and it's the Shudder original of VHS 99.
Yeah.
This is the 5th installment in that horror franchise of anthology horror films. I haven't caught this one yet. I will catch up with it at some point.
I'm not on board the VHS train. Like, I haven't enjoyed any of them.
Look, I think if they took one story from every second one of them, they might actually have a good anthology, but it's all filler and rarely killer with that anthology, I feel. Like, I think there was one that Gareth Evans had done, the Compound one, and it was terrific. It was like a first person sort of thing, and it was great. But yeah, I've been a bit meh on the rest of it. Actually, I think that there was one. Oh, am I confusing it with an ABC's of Death? That's a good question. I don't know. It's a wash. I mean, there's 5 of them. I will check it out at some point. Look, it's in my queue on Shudder, so I'll catch up with it. But surprisingly, this one is loaded with special features. There's commentaries, there's Comic-Con panels, there's featurettes, there's special features galore. So yeah, it's kind of strange when I think about it because it's one of those releases that probably doesn't need a lot of special features yet.
But they're probably cheap directors. You don't need to pay them much.
Exactly. Yeah, totally. They're on screen for like 15 minutes a piece. And then, the special features are going to run longer than the stories themselves. But yeah, then you get something like, the Fabelmans or Tar that either has minimal special features or all the special features. And just in an update, I did order both of those 4Ks from the United States in the long run. Sight unseen, despite best advice from Ben and Glenn that maybe I should just wait for them to get to streaming and decide if I want them or not. Well, no, because I needed a fix. And so I bought them, and they have remained in plastic for the past week, but I'm working my way to them. But I just need to get through a bunch of stuff in my streaming pile before I get to my physical pile. And now the last one I want to release, or a last distributor I want to mention for the week that's putting out releases is Umbrella Entertainment. Now they're releasing 2. One is a co-pro that we're actually releasing from Monster Fest in association with Umbrella in a new line called Monster Fest Presents, and that title's Mad Heidi, a Swissploitation action I don't know, horror / everything extravaganza, and that one's coming out. But if you haven't ordered the collector's edition via the Umbrella website, you may have missed out because I'm just waiting for a confirmation. I think they're sold out of the one that's got the slipcover and the poster. But the trade-wide version will be in JB stores and other retailers. I mean, is there any other physical retailers apart from JB? I mean, you can order stuff online, sure, but like, you're not going to be able to go to any other store and get Mad Heidi. The only
there's
physical
still that
outlet
guy with the table at the shopping centre.
Oh, yeah, exactly. He'll be selling it in 3 years when there's a sales return, or if it's a really popular title and he's decided to bootleg it.
Yeah, it'll be ripped on those blue DVDs.
Yeah, coming to a trestle table near you in your local shopping centre. And the last one I'll mention from Umbrella Entertainment is Mad Monster Party, which looks like a spectacular edition they've put together. It's got multiple aspect ratios. You can watch it in its like original 133:1 open matte ratio, or the more theatrical 185. And there's a ton of special feature content on that one as well. So that looks like a release that I'll probably pick up for nostalgia's sake. I haven't seen it since the old CEL video that I used to watch obsessively as a kid. It's one of the few sort of horror things that I could show friends of my age at that time and not have the, trouble of their parents saying they could never come to my house again because I had scarred them by showing them something they definitely should not have seen.
We had the same childhood.
Yep.
One you missed, though. I don't know if you intentionally missed it, but there's one.
Is it coming out on DVD?
This
is
Saturday
there a Blu-ray?
in October. Part 5 and 1.
It's a DVD only, isn't it, Glenn?
That's why.
You know my feelings. If a distributor can't be bothered releasing it in high definition on Blu-ray, then it shouldn't be worth mentioning, unless it's an exceptional film. But I am curious about that one because, so is this essentially 2 films.
Yeah. So the way this was made, there is no in between. The first movie they released was part 5, right?
Like Leonard Part 6.
Yeah, and then they released part 1, I think it is, right? And there's no in between movies, and the whole gist of it was they're trying to emulate the 80s and 90s when you go to the video store and all the other installments were rented out and you've only got part 5 left.
Excellent.
So it's like
I love
a bit
that
of
idea.
an in-joke horror movie, so...
I love that idea.
It's going to confuse the fuck out of people, though.
Oh, absolutely. Like when I was growing up as a kid in Queensland, Toxic Avenger, the first one was banned in Queensland, right? But I had a video store that had it and I'd rented it. And I'm pretty sure that you've seen my childlike illustration mocked up cover that I did for it. But some of my friends that got into, that sort of stuff, the Troma stuff, they just thought that the first film didn't exist because they'd never been able to find it in Queensland, only part 2 and 3. And so subsequently it was like this mythical movie until I was like, oh no, I've got a copy. I'll make a copy for you. And again, that's why people's parents wouldn't let them buy it with me.
So when you were up there,
things of that nature.
With part 2 and 3, were they released as 2 and 3 or did they retitle them to make them look like, part 1?
No, they went to, they never went to any specific effort to do. The greatest effort they ever went to with releasing anything in Queensland to acknowledge the fact that there was some other version that existed was when Reanimator came out on video and we received an M-rated version with a sticker that was pasted over the R rating with an M and then a big dot that said, what was it? Something Queensland version. And they even wrote it on the tape, Queensland version. So we knew there was another version out there, but it took us years. This is long before the internet.
You didn't get that head in the dish between the legs moment. That's what it was.
No, exactly. Yeah, they cut out all the wholesome good stuff. But yeah, so subsequently we knew we were missing something. We didn't know quite what.
Yeah.
But yeah, as the years prevailed, we realized we missed out on all the good stuff. But yeah, no, they weren't that kind to us. They just they basically pretended it didn't exist. We should not know about it. It's forbidden.
Who cares about Queensland?
Yeah, that's it. Anyway, it's part of the past. And you know what another film that was banned in Queensland was? And just for the sake of keeping something going for way longer than it should, Houseboat Horror. It's coming out June 21st on Blu-ray. Woo! You'll bar up.
You'll bar up. Oh, my goodness.
I threw that one in there for Ben because Ben now likes to keep that on going, and I think we will keep it like right up until it's in a 2 for $30 there at JB Hi-Fi, where you can physically go into a store and pick up a title like Houseboat Horror, and even in Queensland in this day and age. But anyway, I've held you guys up for too long, but thank you for having me and letting me just rant about home entertainment as always. I'm glad. I didn't actually, there was no major gripes this week. I didn't lose my shit about anything, did I? I don't think I did.
No, not at all.
Good.
It saved us all the stress.
Cleo's here. I've kept things upbeat. If Ben was here, I'd feel like I'd have to bring it down a notch.
Except Queensland. Queensland got shit on this week.
Yeah. Fuck those guys.
Oh, mate, on with the show. Thank you, sir. We'll catch you next week.
Pleasure.